coming in here. So we gotta I'm gonna address a couple things. As Captain Canada is one of them. We will address. Check. We will address Captain Canada. Check. 1, 2. That's better. So, Captain Canada, I think is Tom. I don't know 100%, but every time I get somebody who subscribes or comes on the channel, makes comments, and then I view their page, and I see that they have no content and they've only commented on my page, it kind of makes me a little iffy on who it is. I'm just saying. But the things that he was asking me kind of were crazy, like drunken. And one of them was like, what key was I in? That's not a key. It's an arpeggio, which I'm playing a chord. Same like this. If I play A minor, that's not a key. I'm playing a chord. What is A minor in? If I start here, G major, A minor, C major, E minor. I mean, take your pick. Anyway, we'll go into some of that, and I'm going to update you guys on some news because this is moving very fast. I just talked to Carlos, who's played drums with me from Fonzie. He's absolutely in and interested. He's going to call me a little bit later. So he's a go, 100% go. Patrick's 100% go if this happens. And my good old friend, Mr. Taylor Anderson. Taylor, oh boy. Me and Carlos back together again. Woo-hoo, with Jim and Robert Sarzo. So Taylor has played with Mark Huff and Quiet Riot, and he's also played with Cinderella. He's also played with Kip Winger and Lita Ford on guitar. And bass with Mark Huff. This will be an unbelievable band. Taylor hasn't played in a while. He owns his own company now. And I called him out of the blue, which is funny. So I'll show you this. Let me do my thing because I love to do the shots because this is going to be unbelievable. And the idea of rotating some people in and out. I get Kenny Reinl out, maybe a show, get him up and play some songs. It's going to be an all-star jam. Maybe we'll call it From the Ashes, the Hollywood All-Star Jam. Or somebody said something, I got to look back at it. So I told him what we were doing. Taylor Anderson. He's like, okay, Chris, I'll give you a call tomorrow. Have a good night. So it started out like this. So you see, I don't keep up with people. Hey there, stranger, long time. Sorry I couldn't answer at the phone. We're at dinner. What's up? He's a rock and roll. He's like a superstar. Puts on an incredible show. So this is turning out and moving very, very fast. So the next part of this is to get everyone together and do the list of the songs of all the bands that we've played with. Man, there's going to be a lot of bands from Cinderella, Quiet Riot, Rat, Hurricane, Sabbath, Dio. Man, so many bands. And then we'll see if we could get some originals done. Very cool. Very, very cool. So now let's get back. Oh, and again, to the guys who are like, oh, you're just a bedroom. I guess you're not watching the videos of who I'm talking to. I don't need 3 million subscribers. No, don't need them. And then somebody asked me, so let's talk about some of this stuff before I go back into some of this stuff. Somebody asked me, what do you think is killing the rock and roll and guitar players? Honestly, it's social media. They're making stars out of people that can't play. And the people that say that who they are aren't really players or producers. They are, but they ain't done a lot. They're making money off YouTube. That's like me saying, again, I played at Rocklahoma. I can list 30 or 40 bands I played with. Now, technically, did I play with every single band? No, but that's how it goes. I can use that on a resume, like Sullivan Big said, and I don't do that. Because obviously, you see I'm friends with people, and I don't have to call for permission and send them what I'm going to ask them, which is great. And then I said to Robert, I think my old friend Taylor Anderson will play bass, has played with Kip Winger, Lita Ford on guitar, bass with Mark Hoff, Quiet Riot, and Cinderella. He's going to call me tomorrow. Carlos, I've played with Taylor, and with you and Jim all lined up. So the band is lined up. It's just a matter of getting a couple commitments, 100%. Carlos will talk to me tonight. This is going to be big. And then as we go to cities, we can rotate some people in and out or get them up with us. Huge, huge draw. So was that a key or not? Was it a key to be or not to be? That wasn't a key. Those are arpeggios. Those are chords. What was I looking for? I don't know what I did with it. Did I sell it? No. My Tank G. I ran my Tank G and left the power on to see how long it would take to run the Tank G completely out. 10 to 12 hours, I'm guessing. It's around here somewhere. Beats me. I lost it. I don't see it. I don't know. I've been moving gear in and out. I get a couple things up for sale. I just put some acoustics up for sale too. Anyway, we got a new hater on the channel, and I'm pretty sure it's Tom. He goes by Captain Canada. Now, if you're trying to parlay off of Captain America and you're saying Captain Canada, that's really delusional, and that's really low to actually take something American and make it Canada. You gotta come up with your own shit, man. Just saying. So, and let me show you a couple other things, and I'm gonna show you what's killing what I said. Let's see. So I was talking to Tennis Nuts, and here's a Paul Warren music. Check that video out. And I'll tell you why. Because I know he's been surfing my channel. And he took some of the ideas I was showing, and he uses the word in the very beginning of the video called secret sauce. Hey, again, just give me effing credit for what I say or talk about. And then I showed some Yngwie Vennemore licks 5 days ago. And then Robert Baker does a video after 6 years of no Yngwie licks. He does another video, Yngwie licks. And then I see Robert Baker just had Andy Woods on. Rick Beato's got Andy Woods on. Tim Pierce had Andy Woods on. I guess next is Red Shull. But see, that's the kind of stuff that's killing rock and roll right there. Not only is it promoting people like Grace Bowers and what's that guy's name with the blonde curly hair for Gibson, but he's got Epiphone. I don't even know his name anymore. But they're just social media influencers. And that's what like people like Rick and Rhett and Tim are. Even though Tim did some work in the day, he's not getting work no more. And so they have to supplement their income. And what happened is, like I said, I'm not bashing them for making income. More power to them off YouTube. But they are also doing a disservice by playing the YouTube game and putting 5 videos on a day or whatever it is to get the money to get into the algorithm, and they're forced to do that. So it kind of is both people's fault. YouTube's killing it as well as social media influencers. If you look up where Rick made his money, it's all from YouTube, nothing else. Not guitar lessons, not from jazz, not from producing, not from anything but except YouTube. And that's a problem because he's talking about the industry and how you can be better when he hasn't done it. You produced or helped Jason Todd on the first Shinedown album and did a country song. Parmalee was the band or something, or the name of the, and then that's it. Nothing. Look up Michael Wagner, Bob Rock as producers. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of credits. Now that's where I have to say that I have respect for Tom Bukovac. He's done 2,000 sessions, but he lied about what they were, or let's not use the word lie. He just didn't inform you of the exact genre of the session. Was it for television? Was it for radio? Was it for bands? Was it for a famous celebrity? Now, I know for a fact that 79 out of his 2000s were for celebrities. The rest were not. I know that for a fact. I know a lot about Tom. I know where he lives. I know his house. I know his phone number. I know his email. And we've corresponded by email. So that I know about him. But I have respect that he worked hard in the business as a session guitar player. Do I think he's an incredible guitar player? No, I think he's a very good guitar player. He's good. He did his job as a session player. Do I think he was an incredible stage performer and putting on a show and like made a mark, like where people wanted to come see him? No. He didn't write nothing for anybody that anybody wanted to see. Play with Bob Seger, didn't write one song. So that's the kind of problem I have with that. But in his defense, Rick Beato and the Red Shoals have done nothing. They're social media people. And what I mean about this is, it's like the 80s with the hair bands. When you flood the market with quantity instead of quality, it will burn very fast and people won't listen to the music no more. Oh, it's just another Poison. Oh, it's a copy of Van Halen. Because you're going after and trying to sign the next big act, and all these labels flooded the market and killed the hair band. Grunge didn't kill it. It was the flooding of the market. Did grunge die? Absolutely. Why? They flooded the market. Did MTV die? Yes, they flooded the market. It's a cycle. And guys like Rick and Rhett and Tim Pierce and Robert Bakers don't understand. And that's why they surf the internet for content, because they've run out of ideas. So they come up and they try to be clever, or have this guy on their show or whatever. And I'm not that guy. I'm a player and a writer before a YouTube personality. I don't even consider myself a YouTube personality and never will. I don't care if I just want to influence people and pass the torch on. I just want to give you secret sauce so that you can give it to your kids and your grandkids and whoever else wants to learn how to do it, how the pros did it. Why? Because I'm trying to save rock and roll. Other people just don't care. They want to make their money and move on and flood the market with a ton of videos that are useless and boring, and then start to grate on people's nerves where they won't come on YouTube. And you can see it happening. Now, how do you know? Let's take a look at some of their views. Rick Beato's 5 million subs, and he's never getting 2.5. He's never getting half of his subscribers to watch it. Why? They're killing the market. Same with Rhett, same with Tim Pierce. They very often get to half. Now, if you look at my channel, I average around 1,000. That's 50%. That's 20%, 25% more per prescriber per view than they get. Why? I'm original and the content's original. Guitar playing I didn't invent, but I'm showing people how to do things a different way. And I think that's very helpful. So, what else in the news? I really like the green channel on this amp. Now you can say on an A minor. Is that the key? Not really. Must have hit that. A minors and a bunch of keys. So now let's go back to this Mr. Canada Smarty Pants who don't know jack. And I swear to God, I hope that's not Tom, because his comments are ludicrous on theory. Although I saw the triad thing, and that was beginner 101 and horrible of what he said. That's the E minor arpeggio. So let's go back to the beginning. What is the E minor arpeggio? It's a chord played in different intervals. Sorry. It's also got a G major triad in it. It's also a G major triad off the ass end of the actual arpeggio. So it has a lot of influence on what I do. Again, pattern, arpeggio, position, B minor. E to a B. What's your first string to your second string? E to a B. Natural resolve. And then you have a B and a G. So if I take a B minor arpeggio and I do this, that down. Roll this up. Wherever I move that arpeggio is the next major triad. So it all connects relevant to wherever you move these. Now, do keys dictate me? No. Because if I'm playing an A minor chord, I may play out a G major, A minor, C major. I may mix both keys because C major has 0 sharps or flats and F is added. That's the only difference in note. F sharp. It doesn't sound bad when you throw the F in with the F sharp. Gives you a chromatic walk. So can you play G major, A minor, E minor, and C major all together? Absolutely. So who dictates that? I do. This doesn't dictate anything in here. See, this is how people have gone astray and wrong. And this is why some of the teaching is wrong. I can take a chord progression like this. now I can go. Did that sound horrible? No. It's a key change using a minor third interval. Interesting. Now if I take this B minor, I have a chord here, chord there, chord there, chord there, chord there. I get a chord here, chord here, chord here, chord here. Those are all out of the arpeggio of B minor. And what are B minor chord notes from? A scale. But a B minor scale or B major scale or whatever scale you want to try to attach the B minor into. Now, what was I playing any different? It didn't sound different. Sounded like a cool hook to me. That's all B minor arpeggio. Same if I go. What is that? It's just an arpeggio. Minor arpeggio. Built off the arpeggio. So there you go. Is it a key? No, they're chord tones, and I'm building tones off of chord tones. So I swear to God, I hope that ain't Tom, because that will damage his reputation beyond belief. And I would advise, if I gave Captain Canada advice, and it is Tom, I would tell you, eliminate that. Why? Because if somebody can track you back to you, Tom, or one of your accounts, and you're that ignorant on theory, I feel bad for you. You might lose a lot of subs, brother. Bottom triad. Where am I? This thing gets on my eye. I can't see. I wonder if I put it on like this, the way it's supposed to be. Let's see. Check 1, 2. Check. Now I look like an Arby's person. Even. I am the man with the headset. Comedy hour. I don't know. Can this go lower? I wonder if that would stay on in a live show. I haven't worn this live yet. I wonder if that would work. Under here it would be because it doesn't mess with my hair. I'm the man with two. No, we can't say that. Those are all our arpeggios. Now you can have a lot of fun with that. And what I like to do is I like to take a scale system, like whatever key I decide to choose, and play a 6 and a 9 together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6 and a 7. And if you look, it's basically a 7. You can open it there. Oh wait, here we go. Hey, what's up, man? What's going on? You just got done teaching? Hello? Can you hear me? Hey, there you are. You can hear me? Hello? 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 How low can you go? Oh, man. My buddy Vince, he trains all that UFC fighters. Let me see. For sure. Let's talk tomorrow. Robert Zarzo. What's up, man? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now. You went out. I must have been at a dead spot.
Well, I don't have Brad's phone number no more, but I was gonna give him a really good opportunity, and it's still not out of the woods yet. So you remember I was telling you I was forming this band?
Yes.
So I got Carlos committed from Louis Fonsi Vi. I got Patrick from Ingves committed. I got Jim Crean from Vinny and Peace and the Sabbath thing committed. And I got and Robert Sarzo is going to call me tomorrow. I think the lineup might be done. I just talked to Taylor Anderson. I don't know if you ever met him when you lived by me. He played with Mark Huff and me and Cinderella and Lita Ford and Kip Winger. He plays he plays guitar and bass. He's got his own business now and hasn't been playing. But I called him out of the blue and he's like, "What's up, stranger?" And I'm like, "Hey, man, I get this opportunity. You want to do a Florida run?" He's like, "Let me call you tomorrow."
Too cool, man.
Yeah, so this thing is moving really fast. And I like the idea of rotating the guys in and out when you get it. You know, like if you have a main band, like obviously, like, you know, like say Jim has to go back and do the Sabbath thing or whatever, then we could, maybe he can get like, because he's really good friends with Mike Tramp, and I haven't talked to him in a long time either. But maybe he can call him and say, "Hey, man, you want to go out on the store? Here's the songs," you know, and then we add, yeah, and then we could get, you know, we could do some White Lion songs. So we can always rotate players in and do a couple songs of their catalog as well.
I know, I love it. I listened to your video today. I was like, man, what a great idea. How cool is that?
Yes, I've been trying to get a hold of Brad through the Facebook, because like I did some of the other people, like Kenny, I lost his number, and then and then he texted to me, but he answered. I don't want to face call him, but maybe run it by Brad just to see if he's interested for me.
Okay, so Brad is touring with Saliva still.
Yeah.
And he might, I'm not sure what's happening with
Shinedown. Yeah.
But it seems like they may be mending. So I'd say the same thing I do. I reach out to him on Facebook. It takes him a little while to respond. He doesn't respond right off the bat.
Yeah, I know. He's real busy. He's got he's got the Shinedown thing kind of happening. He's got his podcast, and then he's got that, and you know.
Saliva's touring, so.
Yeah, I know they're touring, because I asked. Rudy said, Robert said his brother's really busy too, Rudy Sarzo. But that doesn't mean if we go out to the L.A. coast that and Quiet Riot happens to be out there, that we can't get any of those, including Alex, the guitar player and stuff, and or whoever. You know what I mean? You know, Stephen Piercy or DeMartini get up and do a bunch of Rat stuff. That would be great for me.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, because you love Rat.
Yeah, out of all the bands that I've played with and like fill in, I think they were my favorite. Steven was pretty cool in the fact that he would like let me just kind of play. But I do have some stuff coming up here for me too. So it's not like I don't know if I would be able to do the whole thing with all of them either. You know what I mean? So like, because they want me to open up for George Lynch, and then George's backup guitar player, I forget his name, is over on the East Coast here. He's got a band that's taken off, and they want me to play guitar for them too. So I don't know. I'm recording this, by the way, so just so you know, you don't curse.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was something at the last minute. Like it's cool that happens. You know, it's like it's cool that I get these calls like that. You know, I was just talking about you too. I was like, man, you know, I said, my buddy Vincent, I was like, man, I wonder if he would go out and guitar tech for me. And I was like, he's got the jiu-jitsu school going and stuff. But it would be cool.
If it was like,
Oh, you know who I could I don't have his number anymore.
who's that?
Doc.
Oh, from Sabotage?
Yeah, because I know he remembers me too.
Yeah, well, he's running Cherokee Guns like nonstop. He's there 24/7, and I think he's coming out with his own brand of AR lowers or something. I don't know. He's got everybody staying so busy.
Do you see him a lot?
I can just zip by and ask him.
Give him my number and tell him I get this opportunity. He might be interested in that as well. I would love to play with Doc from Sabotage.
He's got his drum kit there at Cherokee Guns as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like he's got a really nice drum kit as it's set up. He was so nice because when I moved here, I introduced myself and he's like, "Oh, you're a jiu-jitsu instructor?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Man, would you like to do a class here for self-defense?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." He's like, "You keep all the money. I don't want anything. Just, it's good for the community." I'm like, "Wow." So that's how I met him. That was my first impression of him.
He's a cool dude.
But it was just a small world because when you were living over on the west coast of Florida, that was that group of guys that used to go to your place. So I was like, no way.
Yeah.
And the brothers, what is it? All of it?
Chris and John. Yeah, Chris and John.
Yeah. So, yeah, those were the other guys in Sabotage. And I didn't put the puzzle pieces together when when I was living next door to you. But, it was so sad that he passed away. And just, I was in not a pawn, what do they call those shops? There's thrift shops galore up here. And they had all this huge equipment, but it was for bass. And the lady's like, the guy from Trans-Siberian Orchestra, all of it, the one who's still alive, that was his equipment or something like that, or he went and bought it all. I don't even remember anymore. And I was like, how cool is that? And that turns out that was Doc's band.
Yeah.
So
it's such a small world. Like we were talking the other day, and I was, like you ended up moving in, and then like we were talking martial arts, not even music, and then we became friends, and mostly it was martial arts, and then I don't even know how the music thing started. And you asked me, and then you came in, and I played, and then.
What's funny? Okay, I think you may have saw a guitar in my house or something like that. And you just nonchalantly like, I play guitar. And so it was so funny because remember, I didn't know you. I just met you.
Yeah.
And you also, I think I was a manager at Publix at the time, and you would come in and I would tell you about what cuts of meat, et cetera, et cetera.
No, don't buy that. You need, because I was in the skirt steak at the time. You were like, no, you gotta get it with the fat over here and the.
Yes, sir. So, anyway, so you were like, yeah, I play guitar. And I'm like, oh, great. Here's another guy that plays guitar. Everybody plays guitar. That's what I'm thinking in my mind. But I would never disrespect somebody like that and say it out loud. But in my mind, I'm like, everybody's a musician. Everybody plays in a band. Everybody plays a guitar. My sister, her ex-husband, same thing. Like he's a great bassist and he played in bands and all that. So, we've been around those people all the time. So I was just like, okay, this guy probably plays like a few chords and, he's decent, but whatever. So, when I went over, you had that custom Zion.
Oh,
from,
yeah.
From Ed Hoover. It was signed to you, to Chris. And I didn't know anything about Zion at the time, but when I looked them up, I'm like, dude, that's an elite guitar. Well, how does this dude have a Zion? And then on top of that, it was hilarious because when you were doing your little warm-up licks, I'm like, I figured this dude's just like everybody else. And so he did a couple little licks. And then all of a sudden, you just melt my face off. I'm like, holy smokes. I've never seen anybody play that fast and coordinated with a good sound in person. And we've been around professional musicians. My parents had friends that were professional musicians as well, and they were friends with what was the guy from the Police? Not Sting. Who were the two musicians?
Andy Summers?
It was Andy Summers, I believe.
The guitar player?
Yeah, those are people that like pass through our circle. So, it wasn't like a huge deal. And then Brad.
Well, before you take up about Brad, because we already did, tell everybody how you know them through what's his name, Thornton.
Oh, okay. So, we all went to Catholic school together up in Jacksonville. So, St. Joseph's Catholic School, it was kind of small. So, like, it was kind of small town back then in Mandarin. And we all carpooled together. So, Brad was in 1 grade higher than me. Peter was in, I think, 2 grades or 3 grades higher than me because he went to school with my older sister. We all went to St. Joe's, I mean. And then Matt Thornton was 1 grade higher than me as well. Now, Matt has passed away just a couple years ago. He was a professional rugby player. But his older brother, Peter, their mom worked for my dad. So it was just one big circle, And so we carpooled together. They would take us. My dad would take them. We just switched whoever was working and who was available to take us to school. So when I was back in Jacksonville, I was working, what was it? The Fresh Market. I was a butcher there. And Mrs. Thornton comes in, and she would always say hello. And she's like, Peter is working on a band, and they're going to be big. This is going to be the big one. They're going to make it. And I'm like, oh, that's so cool. And she's like, you know who else is in it? Brad Stewart. Now, Brad, he always stood out to me. We weren't like close friends or anything like that in Catholic school because the grades really made a difference. 1 grade higher, you didn't talk to the grade beneath you. You just whatever. It's just the way it was. But we had a fun and field day every year at Catholic schools. And this big dude, he was kind of bullying on me. It's like 3 times my size. And Brad, out of nowhere, stepped up. He's like, hey, why don't you go easy on him? Look how small he is. Go hard on me. And I was like, Brad was not like as big as this guy, but this
Brad's
guy backed
tiny.
down.
Yeah, Brad's tiny.
I mean, but he backed this dude down. And I was like, dude, he's so cool. This guy, like, bullied the bully.
Yeah.
And so that's how Brad was ever written in my mind. Well, turns out Brad married this young lady, Mary Beth, that was 1 grade lower than us. And so they were all part of our circle as well, being Catholic school kids. They got married and they shopped at the store where I worked at. And so he had the beginning of his dreadlocks coming in at that time. And I think he was a music teacher at the moment. But he talked about, Peter is putting together a band, et cetera, and it turned out to be Shinedown. And yeah, they hit it big. Absolutely awesome music.
That's, and what the crazy part of that is when we're talking the other day, and I said, out of all the people that ended up buying, Tracy's grandparents' house next door, and then I was in martial arts, you were in martial arts, and then we go see Fuel, because you knew Brad and Jason from Shinedown, and then I walk in there and Abby Jeanette's in there, and I know Abby through Robbie from Saigon Kick, and I'm like, so like you knew people from the band, and I knew his wife, but I knew her.
Crazy?
That's so. And then what did you do? How long ago did you move? Like 2 years ago?
Oh goodness, yeah, it's been. Well, no, I moved away from you.
Yeah.
Gosh, 5, 6, 7 years ago.
It's been that long already? Dang.
Oh, dude, the time has flied. The thing is, because we did a lot of
And
work
then-
together.
And then here you are. You go into like a shop, and Doc's in there that I used to hang out with when me and Chris were friends, and John and Derek. You know, it's such a small world how everything always revolves to the same people.
I know, it blew my mind. Doc didn't say anything. One of his one of his employees, because he owns the place, was like, "This dude is an amazing drummer." He was in Sabotage, and I don't remember Sabotage because I wasn't into that. I was actually into your first band, Expose. I like the dance music, and the girls were beautiful. I think that's how I ended up falling in love with Latin women, because Expose, those girls were so pretty.
I hated them all. Not because of the way they looked, but they were just mean to me.
Well, you know, okay, so, but it's crazy because when we were going to work that one day, your buddy called to let you know that, what was her name that died? Sandy?
Sandy, yeah.
Yeah, like you got the call before it was even press released that she had passed away. And so, I mean, that means you meant something to them because they let you know ahead of time.
Yeah. And then dumbass Kenny from Shovelhead. He's trying to find out how much money I made and who I was to him, and then I'm in the hospital and the management calls me and they're like, "Who is Kenny? Is he dangerous?" So I had to call Kenny and text him, "Hey, knock it off. They're asking about you if you're dangerous because you just don't ask questions like that." I go, "So now you know it's true, Kenny." I said, "Stop calling the girls in the management team." But that's a funny story too. But I saw Kenny not long ago.
Yeah, he's jamming out as well, man. I know you guys have a hard time making chemistries with like other certain people. It's just all bands are like that, but it's such a shame because he's got such a good voice and your guitar playing is phenomenal. And I guess, you know, it is what it is. Not everybody can be married, you know.
I asked him if he wanted to do a Pantera tribute band because we used to play Pantera together.
Oh, that'd be great.
That was sick. Everybody loved it. I mean, people would just come. They heard it. I'll never forget when we were playing like at a World of Beers up in West Palm and it was raining and the place was empty. We started playing like Linkin Park and Pantera and the whole place got packed. And the manager, I was looking down at the stairs and I'm like, they're yelling to play heavy stuff. And he's like, "Is there cursing in it?" I go, "No. Play whatever you want." And then we played Pantera, and the next thing I know, he's like, "What's going on out there?" I go, "You better go take a look." It was like wall-to-wall people, like 1,000 people walked in there. They're like, "There's no way we heard Pantera coming out of World of Beers," and you guys were just, like, it was insane. You know, it was like it turned into a I mean, you know, that's the thing. If some of these clubs would actually let the bands just do what they do best, they would actually make a lot of money for them.
Yeah, World of Beers has a lot of politics, but man, when you guys were together, every song you guys covered was not only phenomenal, sometimes it sounded better than the original. When you guys did break stuff, I prefer y'all's version of it over the real one.
Yeah. Well, yeah, those are fun times playing like gigs like that too. You know, like, you know, it's weird because it's how fast this thing's coming together because I really didn't think I was gonna play anymore. But you know what happens is you play out, and then people see you or they meet you. Like Jim, I didn't know Jim until I played with the Sabbath guys, you know.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, he's like, "Let's put this together," and we're talking about originals and make this happen. And then I'm talking to Robert, and he's like, "Hey, man, you think we could do a run out there?" And then I'm like, "Dude, let me call Jim," because. And then all of a sudden, everybody wants in and everybody wants to play. And then all of a sudden, there's a whole band already formed, you know? I got to talk to Carlos, Robert, and Taylor tomorrow, but I'm pretty sure they're all in, you know? They're like, I'm like, I got the whole band, you know?
Well, you guys are all phenomenal musicians. Oh, I had to correct you on one thing. I got to circle back to it. Jason Todd, I do not know him. He's one of Brad's friends, but
Yeah.
I didn't know him personally.
Wasn't he from Atlanta?
I don't know anything about Jason. I've only met him. I think he was playing with Fuel for a second. And, So yeah, Brad's wife. I'll fill you in on that real quick. Brad's wife, Mary. She contacted me. I think it was either on Facebook or I was pretty sure on Facebook. She's like, Brad is with a new band now. I think you're really gonna like their music. I'm like, oh cool. What band is it now? And she goes, Fuel. I'm like, are you kidding me? Fuel was one of my favorite bands. Period. I still jam them to this day. Like my kids know all their songs.
Brad's really good.
Oh, dude, it was phenomenal. So like when they would go down our way, that's how we, always go to the get backstage.
And I forget, what was the drummer's name? I always forget. Ken
Shaw.
Oh, yeah.
Ken Shaw from Candiria. That dude's a beast on the drums.
Oh, man.
Such good beats.
Dude, that was so funny. Hey.
You gotta tag them. If you post this, make sure you tag them, do like a hashtag, because...
Send me his name, because I forget. Dude, my mind isn't what it used to be. I forget a lot of stuff, like, staying in contact with people, or... It's a weird thing. Like, when I haven't talked to Taylor in probably, 15 years.
Wow.
And I just called him, and he's like, what's up, dude? Long time no hear, stranger. But, and I'm like, he still remembers, because you never know,
Yep. Well, the good friendships, it's like a day never passed. I see people 15 whatever years later, and it's like not one day has passed since we spoke last.
Yeah. All right, man. Let me take off. I gotta get the kid ready for bed. I got a couple things to do, and then we'll catch up. But yeah, ask Brad if you ever get or you see him. Oh, and Doc, if you ever go that way, give Doc my number. Yeah, give Doc my number.
I pass this place all the time when I'm going out that way, so I'll stop by. I'll give him your number and tell him to give you a call when he has a chance. Or
yeah, that way, if we come that way, I can call him and get him up on stage too.
Yeah, plus I can shoot you his number anyway, because it's right there.
Yeah, that'll be awesome.
Yeah, dude.
All right, man. Thanks.
You got it, brother. Take care.
All right, you too. Love you. Bye. Oh, so I almost forgot what I was doing. I'm recording. Holy crap! 47 minutes. What a that was interesting. So that's my buddy Vincent, who used to live next door. He's like one of my best friends. He moved into the house that we owned, and we gave it back, and then to the family, and they ended up selling it. And he's a great guy. We did a lot of stuff together, and he grew up with Brad and Shinedown and those guys. That's how I became friends with them, and he didn't know. And the same thing, like I would go with him and meet Kimbo Slice and Mike Brown, because he would teach UFC fighters. It's an interesting friendship and a great story, because he ends up knowing some of the people that are working with the other people that I know. It's crazy. So he met Doc from Sabotage, and I haven't talked to any of the Sabotage guys since Chris died. How crazy is that? And then he ends up meeting Doc from Sabotage up where he just moved. It's unbelievable. So maybe we could get him up to play as well. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Sorry it took away from some of the playing. But, hey, man, some of the last-minute off-the-cuff stuff, that's what I love. Genuine conversations with genuine friends, and telling stories and passing down the knowledge and stuff like that. It's great for you guys to hear inside stories like this, because a lot of people don't know how we all know each other and how we make friends. I made a lot of friends by playing with bands or working with bands, and then your name goes around, and every time you talk to them, some of them don't like you. Probably a third, no. Some of them are just a-holes, but for the most part, when I stay friends with somebody, it's a true testament to how loyal and good they are, And I've watched Vincent's kids when they were babies, and he had to do something, and they lived next door, he was always welcome in my house, always. So he's a good friend, and I'm glad you get to hear that story about the Sabotage guys and stuff, because that's something that hits a spot with me. Chris was an incredible guitar player and a dear friend, and hey man, you just miss the people that you loved hanging out with, that were like such nice guys and monster players. Monster. He's my favorite metal guitar player of all time. Metal. Like when you want to hear Power of the Night is one of my favorite all-time albums. Sirens was good too, but Power of the Night, oh my goodness gracious. You know, and John, his brother, was always gracious to me, as well as Doc and some of the other guys. So you get to hear it firsthand, and it's great that it's off the cuff. Again, who needs 3 to 5 million subscribers? You're just a part of it. Again, I'm not a YouTuber. I'm just a person that played with these people. I'm just a normal average guy that got lucky. So there you go. I'm no better than anyone else. I'm just not. I'm just fortunate to be blessed to have friends from the music industry. And if I screwed people over, I was an asshole, I wouldn't be able to talk to these guys. So there you go. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed the videos and the private conversations and stuff like that where, we just get out there and do our thing. Peace out. Have a good night.